Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again tonight for another edition of NASCAR Thunder 2004 on the channel. Before we get into this full race live stream with a realistic broadcast, like, share, but most importantly, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams of the realistic broadcast every day, as well as other related NASCAR videos. Well, we are here at the North Carolina Speedway, also known as The Rock, at Rockingham here tonight for the penultimate race. It is the second to last race of these full race live streams for NASCAR Thunder 2004. This is the second race at Rockingham on the season as we try to get another win or two on our way out with Terry Labonte. We were unfortunately running in the last race, trying to battle through the field. A wreck happened in front of us while leading in the first 100 laps at Phoenix. We got in a crash while leading, very bad crash down the back stretch at that racetrack, and unfortunately took us out of championship contention. We are mathematically eliminated with 2 races to go. So we are just strictly going to be going for wins these final couple races of the season. Justin Sozio, Yo Mama, Slasher God, and Oni, welcome to the stream. I saw you guys in the chat earlier, so thanks for you guys tuning in as well as everybody else as we get this race underway. 400 miles, 393 laps. Of course, we just raced at Rockingham last Sunday for NASCAR 05 in the Cup Series, so now we're racing here again with NASCAR Thunder 2004. And yeah, just 2 races left with this NASCAR Thunder 04 playthrough. Now, because we did not win a championship for NASCAR Thunder 04 in either one of these 2 seasons that we tried, we will be doing something in the future with NASCAR Thunder 04. This is not going to be the last that you're going to be seeing of this game on the channel, but it'll be the last you're going to be seeing it in quite some time. It might be a couple years down the road before I have plans of doing what I'm thinking in my head of what I'm going to do with this game, but because we did not win a title, we do have to move on for now, though, to 05, which we started during Speed Weeks a couple weeks ago. So we're going to take it through today's starting lineup. The MRN guys will take it through the rest of the pre-race, and we're going to hop on into this race. Still a tight championship battle. 4 drivers mathematically have a shot to take the lead in today's race in the points. So, yeah, it's still going to be a fun fight to the finish, and we're just going to try to go out on top with ourselves.
We're live from the North Carolina Speedway, otherwise known as the Rock side of today's NASCAR race, the Top Secret 400, right here on MRN. What can you tell us about this track, Barney?
Tires, tires, and more tires. You've got to take care of your Goodyear Eagles when you come to this place. Otherwise, you'll be sliding up into the wall before you know it.
Kenny Wallace really needs a good finish in this race. He's got a long way to go on the points list.
And, of course, nobody wants to be on the bottom of that points list. You'll have to work extra hard to pick up spots. Not an easy task to dig yourself out of a hole in this series.
After almost 7 full years of racing Winston Cup, Johnny Benson got his first career win here at North Carolina Speedway in 2002.
You know, that race was almost as big a thrill for the fans as it was for him. With his fuel tank almost empty, he managed to hold off a hard-charging Mark Martin to get that first win.
Terry Labonte will try to use this race to gain a couple spots in the points.
I had a chance to talk to him this morning.
Yeah, we can still finish as high as 5th in the points, so there's that still.
Points this week. We'll keep an eye on him.
And just 2 more rundowns of the starting lineup with this game, because we maybe we'll get it in next year's NASCAR game, who knows. But yeah, it's been a fun ride. 2 races to go. Dale Jarrett will be starting on the pole in today's race. He's still got a shot at the title. He comes in 3rd in the standings. Bill Elliott will be starting 2nd. He'll be on the outside of him. Ryan Newman, Mark Martin in row 2. Mark Martin comes into this race 54 points behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., 2nd in the standings. Tony Stewart and Kenny Wallace will be in row 3. In row number 4, it'll be Matt Kenseth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr., again, as just mentioned, is the points leader, 54 points ahead of Mark Martin. In row number 5, it'll be Rusty Wallace and Elliott Sadler. Wallace got his first win of the season at Talladega 5 races ago. In row number 6, it'll be Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven. Craven, remember all the way back when, was our Daytona 500 winner this season. In row number 7, it will be Jeff Burton and Jimmy Johnson. Burton trying to finish the season strong and hope that he can still stay in the top 10 in points. In row number 8, it'll be Hermie Sadler and Ricky Rudd. Rudd still winless on the year with just these final 2 races to go. In row number 9, it'll be Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon. Gordon, 4th in the points coming in, but he's not out of it. 124 points back. Mathematically, he could actually take the points lead away today. Robbie Gordon and Jeremy Mayfield in row 10. Johnny Benson and Joe Nemechek in row number 11. Nemechek coming in off a blown engine in the last race at Phoenix. Bobby Labonte and Kevin Harvick in row 12. Labonte had that hot summer stretch. He's still 5th in the standings and still mathematically has a shot at the title. Though 174 points back, he is the long shot of the 5 that still have a chance. Ward Burton and Jerry Nadeau will be in row number 13. Ward Burton's got 2 career wins here at Rockingham. Kyle Petty and Christian Fittipaldi will be in row number 14. In row 15, it'll be rookie Greg Biffle, who has 2 wins on the season, and Kevin LePage on the outside of him. Brett Bodine and Ken Schrader will be in row 16. Row 17, it'll be Sterling Marlin and Jeff Green. Marlin has had terrible luck with blown engines so far this year, hoping just to get to the finish of these last 2 races. In row number 18, it'll be rookie Jack Sprague and part-time rookie driver outside of him, Chase Montgomery. Jamie McMurray and Casey Mears in row 19, both the Chip Ganassi drivers, and McMurray leads the Rookie of the Year standings with 2 races to go. Steve Park and Mike Skinner in row 20. Behind them in row 21 will be 2 part-time rookie drivers of Ashton Lewis and Stanton Barrett. And rounding out the field by himself will be Terry Labonte in row 22. We are not qualifying for these last 2 races of the year. Trying to make a fun start from the back means our championship hopes are. So as we get into this race, although we don't have a shot at the championship, 5 drivers mathematically still do. The green flag is about to wave. We're going to watch that battle as well as the actual race itself unfolds tonight, and we're just going to have fun for these last remaining races of the NASCAR Thunder 04 full race live stream playthroughs. Terry Labonte taking it very easy into the corner. No practice into tonight's race, nor qualifying for Terry Labonte, so he's going to take it really easy in the beginning of this race. It's the smart way to go about it. 400 miles around this barely over a 1 mile in length racetrack, and already contact with the back of Stanton Barrett. Getting into turn 1 on lap 2. Barrett checked up so much. Really, the entire field checked up with this double file start. Patrick Shatterley, welcome to the stream. And we are racing indeed. Ooh, big charge to the inside. Mike Skinner got loose in the center of turns 1 and 2. Labonte checks up again. We still have to get payback on Michael Waltrip for those of you that don't know or don't remember. Haven't forgotten about it. Now that our chances at the championship are no longer, you can guarantee we are probably going to get that payback today. Man, these guys at the back of the pack just break so much into turns 1 and 2. Labonte's even trying to make a pass on the outside of Stanton Barrett, and he does. Clears him. Casey Mears got really loose into turns 1 and 2. Labonte gets right underneath him, makes the pass. Montgomery looked low, trying to get back around Labonte that time. Couldn't quite do it. Labonte locks the brakes up into turns 3 and 4, gives up the bottom. We saw a wild race here on NASCAR 05 last week for both the Cup Series and the Busch Series. Labonte got in the wall off turn 4, contact with Jack Sprague in front of him. Not a clean start for Labonte tonight. He's trying to make it to the end of this race, and maybe we can get him a couple more wins. Obviously, Labonte's still in the 5 car in our new NASCAR 05 playthrough. We're not driving as him, of course. And his final career win came in this 2003 season. It was at the Southern 500. We are well beyond that race this season at Darlington. So now it's just a matter of, can we get Terry Labonte pretty much a couple more wins in his career, assuming he doesn't win any in our NASCAR 05 playthrough. Nice clean pass on Christian Fittipaldi. Locks the brakes up into turn 1. He squeezed into a tight hole between the 27 of Montgomery and the 16 of Biffle. Biffle, the most winningest rookie driver with 2 wins this season. But unfortunately for himself, he is not leading the Rookie of the Year standings. Jamie Mcmurray is. Mcmurray actually won the actual Rookie of the Year in 2003 as well. And Biffle had 1 win in his rookie season in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, and not 2 like he has this season at Michigan, which is coincidentally his most winningest track in the Cup Series. And also got a win late in the season at Dover as well, and that was also because both races really were because I DNF'd and it randomized the finishing order. Yeah, 4 cars wrecked out in that Phoenix crash, but there were more than just those 4 cars involved. And again, that included Terry Labonte. Labonte was a long shot to win the title anyway, even going into that last race. He got really loose and then just hooked on the 57 of LePage up the track there. This game race is so different from 05. It's crazy. Trying to get a feel for it with no practice or qualifying. This is definitely going to be a little bit of a pain to end this season, that's for sure. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Oh, man, Labonte into Ashton Lewis. Terry had a strong car way back when in the second race of the year when we were at Rockingham. Again, 2 races on this season at the Rock.
We gotta pick up 7 seconds.
Long race. Not like there's any stages to race for stage points either. And Labonte's not looking really for any points. Now, there is still something to fight for as far as points go. We finished 9th in Season 1 in the standings, so there is a good chance that we can finish above 9th. But those 2 DNFs in the last 2 races have obviously hurt Terry Labonte's chances at trying to do that. Or sorry, 2 in the last 3 races he's DNF'd. Really loose underneath Ken Schrader in turns 3 and 4. He did a great job keeping it off of him. So hard to keep it off these drivers in turns 1 and 2. They check up so early. I've seen Labonte run into the back of him a few times. Doesn't matter who's in front of him. Everybody's checking up, especially when they're side by side and battling. Expected another check up this time. And that causes Labonte to get loose on corner entry, trying to keep it off of Robbie Gordon, who's the car on the inside in front of him in the 31 for RCR. It seemed like there's a little bit more grip in turns 3 and 4 as well. On PS2 on Facebook. Nice. Whoa. Didn't look like the car got really skaty there, but Labonte was pretty skaty. Just can't get the power down off turn 2 very well. That's where these guys seem to pull him. He gets underneath, trying to make a pass. You can get into turn 1 really well, but you can't get off of turns 1 and 2 very well. Locking the brakes up, getting underneath Robbie Gordon. It's a slow, methodical pace. Oh, wow! Jerry Nadeau checked up. There were 3 wide off turn 2. Robbie Gordon actually got in the wall. which allowed Labonte to clear him. And now the bottom's open back up again. This is going to get tight off of turn 4. 3 wide down the front stretch, very narrow. Labonte's trying not to make contact. He's hooked on Kevin Harvick in the 29, and Harvick loses a bunch of spots, and Labonte just chopped down to the bottom lane right on top of Jamie McMurray, trying to force his way in line. 2 races to go, not fighting for a championship. Labonte still wants to keep his morale, I guess. Although he's not going to win a 3rd championship this season. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to go. And again, could still fight for a win on his way out the door. Boy, Robbie Gordon drove it in so deep into 3 and 4. Labonte's car just doesn't seem as fast as what it was earlier this season. Now, obviously, he didn't have the track position for the start of the day today. We'll see how the long run will play out. And being in traffic is not helping right now. Battle for the championship. So I tried to find a way to like screenshot so I can put the points battle up on the screen. But I couldn't screenshot it without showing everything else like on the screen. So when I tried to zoom in and do it, it didn't really work. So for the championship race as well as other races in the future, I definitely want to try to plan on putting like the current point standings, at least like the top 5 or whatever, on the screen so you guys kind of have that for the full race. So you guys see anybody where they're running or something major happens with a blown engine or something of that nature. You guys can see the points implications. I know during the cautions it shows the points as they run from time to time, but it doesn't do that every caution. And cautions are no guaranteed thing, especially this season. We've seen a lot of races with very few yellows. What was it, like 8 or 9 races that had 1 or less cautions this season? 3 of them have gone caution-free. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream, by the way. Saw you in the chat earlier. I think I forgot to point you out. Shout you out. Bonnie underneath the 0-1. It's a lot harder to drive it in deeper in this game compared to what it is NASCAR 05. I feel like I could drive it in deeper without the car getting too tight. Again, we just raced here on Sunday. Early Sunday afternoon. So 4 days ago, on NASCAR 05 of the full Cup race here. And in that race, we got the win, driving as Jimmy Johnson. Another Hendrick driver. And another fan-voted driver for that season. Now, I have not seen Michael Waltrip since the start of the race. He qualified inside the top 10, and Labonte started at the rear, so he's still trying to cut his way through the field. He's gotten himself past nearly half the cars. Boy, Sadler got shot out of a cannon off turn 2 there. Remember a Busch Series race middle of last week. I believe we ran that on Thursday night a week ago. Right here at the Rock. That was a race of the week from last week. And actually, there you see Michael Waltrip not too much further ahead of Terry Labonte. Waltrip currently in the 20th position, so he is really fading back from where he started this race. And Labonte needs to get payback on him, and maybe even Kurt Busch too, but I guess I won't make it guaranteed to take out Kurt Busch. Labonte gets around his teammate Joe Nemechek, and Joe trying to cross him back over to the inside. Labonte trying that higher groove, not going to really work. And Nemechek trying to get underneath Elliott Sadler. They're 3 wide off turn 4. Labonte to the inside of both the 25 and the 38 that time. Shoots the gap into turn 1, and he actually got it to stick that time and clears them both. Nice 3 wide crossover move by Terry Labonte midway through the field, and now he's 1 spot, just a couple car lengths behind Michael Waltrip. These two have had a heated rivalry in the late going of the season. Things could get very, very interesting. Oh boy, Labonte Got into Waltrip there, that's for sure. Didn't quite want to do it like that, but I guess that's how he did it. Waltrip really trying to block. Bonnie's not even trying to get into the back of Waltrip. He just keeps getting into the back of him because Mikey's checking up. Getting into turn one, kind of like we saw with some of the other lap cars earlier. That's going to allow Elliott Sadler to get underneath Labonte. Labonte locks the tires up into 3 and 4. Trying to hold the outside, and Sadler gets around both the 15 and the 5. Nemechek's trying to get around Labonte and does after Terry goes wide into the wall. And now Nemechek gets underneath the 15 of Waltrip. So Waltrip is starting to hold up a couple of these guys. Labonte back to 23rd, halfway through the fuel run so far. It's insane. I mean, these guys check up way more than what they do in 05 going into turn 1. It's got to be like some, something with the AI in this game that they're just programmed to do that for whatever reason. Check up so early, and Labonte just can't keep it off of these guys. Labonte back around his teammate, Nemechek. Waltrip really pulled him off 1 and 2. Things could definitely get pretty dicey here. Big run off turn 4. Oh, man, Labonte tried to go high that time just to keep it off of Waltrip in the 10 of Johnny Benson because of how much they check up. Even that's costing Labonte. Not only costing him time, but it's costing him as far as trying to keep his handle into the race car by breaking that early. It's something he's just not used to doing. Around these slower cars, middle of the pack, I'm sure isn't helping. Benson was looking to the outside into 3 and 4. We kind of figured that wasn't going to work. Another big run by Labonte to the back bumper of Michael Waltrip. And Waltrip that time tried to throw a late block on Labonte, and he pulled down right in front of him. Not only pulled that late block, but he checked up again too. Slight contact with Elliott Sadler. It is amazing how Waltrip just keeps brake checking Labonte. Labonte was on the brakes hard that time in 1 and 2, and he still got in the back of him. This is putting more damage on the front bumper of Labonte's car that he doesn't want as well. And he's trying to check up, but they just check up even more. Labonte's got to run this time. Looking high, but he's way too tight and had to get out of the gas or he was going to end up in the wall there. Yeah, it would be cool if they added like the national anthem and the pre-race stuff. NASCAR, the Utechnic games tried to capitalize on like the pre-race stuff. I never played any of them personally, but from what I've seen of gameplay, at least they did with the career mode. I don't know if they did with anything else. They do it on all modes in this game. Boy, Labonte's wearing out his front bumper on Michael Waltrip's back bumper. Labonte gets sideways into turns 1 and 2 that time. Waltrip blocking Labonte, even if Terry is trying to get around him. I don't know if Terry knows what he wants to do with Michael Waltrip right now. Does he want to get payback on him now, or does he want to just pass him? I mean, either way, he can't do either one. Waltrip is just blocking Terry Labonte all over this racetrack. Yeah, definitely a defensive line there by Michael Waltrip early on. And we got a caution somewhere on the racetrack. As they race back to the line, Waltrip nails Labonte. He might have beat him back to the caution flag. And Bill Elliott is going to go around. Middle of turns 1 and 2, Bill Elliott goes for a spin. Remember, he qualified second, was running in the top 10 before his spin. It looked like he saved it, though. He never hit anything. Great save by Elliott. It brings out our first caution of the day. Terry Labonte's going to hit pit road. It looked like he did beat Waltrip to the line, barely. And a lot of the field is coming to pit road, but not everybody. Some of the other leaders stay out. 4-tire stop coming up here, and so it looks like about the top 6 or 7 stayed out, and everybody else behind them pit. Some of those drivers are championship contenders that are splitting strategies. R6R6, welcome to the stream. Bonnie's hoping that he beats Waltrip off in pit road at least, so he doesn't have to worry about him for the moment. I think he did. Ooh, Bonnie barely beat Ricky Rudd there at the last second off pit road. So Mark Martin comes off of pit road first, or he might have been the first driver to stay out. Terry Labonte actually gained 4 spots on pit road, pretty good. Especially with some guys staying out as well. Green flag is back in the air here at Rockingham. Most of that damage is fixed on Labonte's car. He didn't have heavy damage, but of course made contact accidentally with Waltrip and a couple others trying to work his way about halfway through the field so far. But those drivers on older tires at the front right now, that could cause some havoc in the battles for the lead up near the front of the field. Oh boy, Bonnie locked the brakes up into turn 3, clearing Jeff Burton, but now his brother Bobby Labonte, who's still racing for a championship, is underneath, and again Bobby comes in 5th in points. Oh jeez. Bonnie got loose into turn 1. He was trying desperately to keep it off of Sterling Marlin, and now he got pinched into the wall by Jeff Burton, and Ricky Runabout goes around. Waltrip ran into the back of Rudd. After Labonte had to check up after getting pinched into the wall by Jeff Burton, as they were 3 wide off the exit of turn 2, and they kind of stacked up behind him, and that all started when Labonte got loose into turns 1 and 2 on entry and made contact with Labonte, and the reason why he got loose is because Marlin checked up so much in front of him. It's really hard for Labonte to anticipate when these guys are checking up going into turn 1 like they are. It's costing him a ton of time. Checked up again that time behind Jeff Burton. Stanton Barrett's out here. He's kind of slowing up the field as well. That's another reason why they're checking up maybe even more now than what they did earlier on corner entries, because of all these slower cars. Second time Labonte's made contact. Both the Labonte's making contact with each other. Terry up to 15th, race high. Ready to chase Montgomery. Trying to block Jeff Burton. Oh, Labonte overdrove the corner just a little bit, but he stays in front of Burton. Gets to the inside of Ashton Lewis. Hermie Sadler, a couple of slower cars up towards the front here. And Labonte up to 14th. Some of these drivers are lap cars as well that might have lined up on the inside lane on the restart. Harvick's at minus 60. Yeah, there's some pretty significant... Well, I mean, significant in the sense that it made him a rival as far as the contact went earlier when Labonte and Harvick had the run-in the opening laps of the race. One of those factors with the field checking up in front of him, and Labonte just couldn't anticipate when they were checking up exactly. He still hasn't been able to, and we're almost 60 laps in. A little easier now. He doesn't have a ton of pressure from behind or in front of him.
Just 6 seconds separates you and the leader.
I believe Harvick was one of the drivers that stayed out of the pits and is on a little bit older tires as well. It's a risky call. So we know those 7 drivers will have to pit eventually. Bonnie hard into turns 1 and 2. Gets around Johnny Benson. What a move. Benson, though, with a charge on the outside. Almost got the wall. Johnny was up in the marbles. How did he hold on to that position? It looked like Labonte was going to have him cleared. Now Terry rather, back to the inside. Into turns 1 and 2, slides up the track. This time he does clear Johnny Benson. And Benson did get the wall that time off turn 2, trying to go to the high side, but there was nowhere for him to go anyway that time. So Terry Labonte's got the 13th position. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Wow, Labonte. And the marbles himself there into turns 1 and 2. I just can't figure out the setups as well as the drivability of these race cars in this game compared to 05. A lot of it, though, I never played this game a lot as a kid. So when we started this playthrough, it was almost like basically playing a new game. Like 05, you could tell I'm getting the hang of it pretty quickly. It did take a few races because it's been a good 5-6 years at least since I played NASCAR 05. But this game, I barely played it as a kid because I never actually owned it. Between that and racing the same track with multiple series on a different game, and backtracking to this one is also not making it very easy. That's for sure.
Let's go now. Still 7 seconds off the lead.
Be the best finish for this game? What do you mean by the best finish? Oh, for the season. So, yeah, as far as the point standings go, we can finish as high as 5th. It's going to be tough to catch Bobby Labonte if Bobby's got some strong runs at the end of the season. 6th is likely, but we're probably going to have to win both races, score max points, and get some help. But I do think we have a good chance if we can just, run towards the front, maybe pick up some bonus points, maybe even win these last 2 races of the year. I think we can finish better than what we did in Season 1, despite having less wins. And we finished 9th with Greg Biffle in Season 1 in the standings. And we made it further into the championship hunt as well. Didn't get eliminated from contention until 2 races before the end of the season. Instead, it was 4 back on Season 1. Harvick starting to hold a couple guys up in front of Labonte, including Sterling Marlin, as we have seen here. It looks like Rusty Wallace as well, just in front of Marlin and out of the inside of Harvick. Big run to the inside into 1 and 2. Labonte 3 wide underneath Sterling Marlin and Kevin Harvick. That is very tight. Jeff Gordon on older tires as well, one of the championship contenders. Ooh, a little contact. Labonte's going to have to be careful underneath Harvick. Trying to make sure Harvick doesn't take a swing at him. Labonte locking the brakes up into the braking zone in turn 1, and he's going to get around Jeff Gordon, slides up in front of him, and Gordon's in the wall off turn 2. Bonnie almost overdrove the corner. Well, he did kind of overdrive it a little bit, but beats Harvick back to the gas in front of him. And again, he's got fresher tires on Harvick, so he should pull away from him now. Hard charge to the inside, sliding the tires to get underneath of Rusty Wallace in the 2. They're side by side down the back going into turn 3 for 9th. Bonnie's car is tight some corners, it's loose. Other times, struggling to find overall grip in that race car early on. Going to outbrake Wallace into turn 1, make the pass. Gordon gets around Wallace as well. I'm assuming Gordon's on those older tires, and Gordon down to the apron himself going into turns 3 and 4, trying to pick up a spot. Do I think Sonoma and Watkins Glen will have races this season? I think there's a good chance Watkins Glen will be back on the schedule. That race isn't until August. It's like the middle or early August. So there's an extra month and a half to 2 months in between, like when Sonoma comes around and Watkins Glen. And with it being closer to the city of Buffalo than New York City, you saw there were a lot of fans in attendance for the Buffalo Bills playoff games they were playing at home this season. So I'm sure they would allow fans for Watkins Glen with it not being in the New York area. Now, Sonoma, that is not the Los Angeles area, so that I think that'll help, because if I know correctly, I haven't been there personally, so I wouldn't know 100%, but I believe Sonoma is in Northern California, so I think that will help a little bit. And with it being still in late June for its scheduled date, I think that also helps, because that still gives us a good 3.5 months yet until that race that things could clear up. We're probably not going to know until a few weeks before whether or not they're going to run there, and if they're going to run with fans is going to be the question. But I still have high hopes for it. There will be more vaccines by then. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the government one way or another in the state of California on whether they want fans for that race or not. If they don't have fans, they'll probably move the date so they can have fans somewhere else. Maybe they give Charlotte Roval another day. I don't know. Maybe they do a doubleheader at one of the other road courses. I don't know how they're going to do that. But I know NASCAR wants to run with fans. If I had to say yes or no right now, to answer your question, I'd probably say that they will have it, just because of how far in advance we've still got. I'm optimistic that they will run that race and they'll have it a limited amount of fans. Oh, it's early June. Oh, okay. But still. So it's early June, not late June like it usually is. It's usually like right around like mid to late June. It's usually the week after Michigan. Michigan was on Father's Day weekend for the longest time. But now Michigan doesn't have a spring date, so, or I should say a June date. They only got the late summer date. Making a pass on Ward Burton for 6th. Trying to fend him off. Turns 3 and 4. He's got a big gap to the 5th place car ahead of him. But Terry's charging through the field one way or another. He's 8 seconds off the lead, but he's having a good run. Boy, look at how much he washed up the track, how loose he got into turn 1. Still trying to pull Ward Burton. Doesn't tell if Ward pitted for tires under that last stop or not. I'm still optimistic that they'll get that race in, though, with fans. Again, we still have about 3 months, a little over 3 months yet. About 90 to 100 days before that race yet. Closer to 100. It's a lot of time. I think the main reason they moved California is because they would have ran that race this week. Or no, they would have ran it last week, technically, wouldn't they? I think. I think that would have been the second race of the year at the Auto Club Speedway. Second or third, whatever. I know when they threw the Daytona road course in there, I think it was taking over California, and then they flip-flopped Las Vegas and Homestead, I think is what they did. So, anyway, California, or Auto Club Speedway, the reason why they moved that date as early as they did is because it was supposed to be the second race of the season in late February versus Sonoma being in early June. You know, that, like I said, that's a 3 to 3.5 month difference of dates from one California race to the other. And Auto Club Speedway is based just outside of Los Angeles, California, which is, what, the second most populated city in the U.S. So with COVID going on and that being one of the more heavier struck cities, California's government, that early in the season for them to get fans, they weren't going to be able to get fans. So that's why they moved it to the Daytona Road Course. They got fans for that race. That was the whole reason for it.
Okay, time to go. The leader is about 6 seconds ahead.
Okay, so what they did was swapped it out, or I should say they moved Homestead up, because I think originally Homestead was supposed to be after the West Coast swing. It was supposed to be originally after the West Coast swing when they were going to run Homestead. They moved Homestead up to California's date. And then they added the Daytona Road Course as a second race of the year. I don't know if that's right. I think they were supposed to go out west second race of the season. Unless they flip-flop Phoenix and Vegas, like they were originally going to have Phoenix ahead of Vegas, and then they ran... I don't know. I can't remember what the original schedule was supposed to be. Yeah, it's something like that. We're all on the right track. There's so many schedule changes over the last calendar year with 2020 and now into early 2021. Messing my brain up. Delayed Miami by a week, so they added the Daytona Road Course. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So what was originally supposed to be the second race? Because it wasn't going to be the Daytona Road Course. That's the missing piece to this puzzle we're trying to solve here. Because they weren't originally going to run the Daytona Road Course for a points race. They were going to have it for the Clash, but they weren't going to have it for a points race. So it took California's spot on the schedule. That's why I was thinking that they were supposed to go out west for the second race of the year. They're supposed to race Homestead when they got back from the West Coast swing. But instead, they just moved it up to stay in Florida the extra week, means they were in Daytona for the second race now, taking over for Auto Club, and they pushed the two West Coast dates back. No, they would have kept the yeah, I don't know. See, that's where I'm getting mixed up. I don't know. Somebody needs to find a report on what the original schedule was. Aaron England, welcome to the stream. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte is running down the race leaders in the top 5 for the first time today, and is just less than 4 seconds off the race lead. It's taken him nearly 100 laps to go from the back to the front. We've had one caution today just prior to the lap 50 mark, and it was for Bill Elliott, going for a single car spin in turns 1 and 2. Made a great save, didn't hit anything, and everybody missed him to the outside. So, outside of the contact we've seen battling for positions throughout the course of the day, pretty much everybody's had a clean car so far. So a lot of AI spins in the bush in the Cup race on NASCAR 05. Already seen one in this race today. Will we see more throughout the course of this? Stewart trying to crowd Terry Labonte. And Labonte's going to take the spot away from him into 1 and 2 anyway. Labonte only getting more and more comfortable with his car as this race carries on. To not having the practice, at least the setup was for the most part pretty much there. Dale Jarrett, who started on the pole, still in the top 3. Now back to 4th as Labonte's going to get around. But Terry ripping through on these fresher tires. Dale Jarrett lightly in the wall off turn 2. Didn't look like it affected him much. Labonte overruns the entrance into turn 3, but cuts down in the center to the exit of the corner to stay in front of Jarrett for third. Ryan Newman currently the race leader. Matt Kenseth second. And of the drivers that are in the top 5 in points, only one of them are in the top 5, and that's Jarrett in fourth. How many laps was he able to lead at the front as well?
Need to pick it up about 2.5 seconds off the leader. They're all around.
Surprised as out of shape as Kenseth was in turns 1 and 2, he still pulls Labonte off the exit of the corner. It never really came off that white line either. He stuck the bottom about as well as he could. Here's a run. Off turn 4, Labonte to the inside of Kenseth.
Just 2 seconds back now, 2 seconds. Keep him behind you if you can.
Terry Labonte trying to get around the lap car of Stanton Barrett and clears him easily.
It's getting empty.
Labonte running low on fuel, so it looked like about 7 cars stayed out of the pits. Those might have been lap cars, now that I'm thinking about it, during that first caution of the day. So they might have pitted the following time by. I'm not sure exactly how that worked, but we have not seen pit stops at the front of the field yet under green, and with Labonte only having a quarter of his full tank of fuel remaining. We're at lap 100. He still hasn't led a lap yet, but he is closing pretty quickly on Ryan Newman. The crossover to the inside, off turn 4 at the line. 5 bonus points for Terry Labonte for leading the lap. He's still trying to get the highest points finish he can in these final 2 races of the year. So Terry Labonte to the lead for the first time today. Clears Ryan Newman off turn 2. Newman's got a good run, maybe going to try to get back at him into 3. Newman misses his marks, goes a little wide. Terry Labonte drives away slightly. So Labonte leading his first laps of the day. It took him 100 laps to get to the lead from the rear of the field. Caution really helped him, though, if you think about it, because he was able to beat Waltrip back to the line. He was battling hard there. Waltrip was kind of holding him up earlier, and then he beat him by a couple spots off pit road, so he hasn't even really seen Michael since.
Be careful. You're using up those tires. No outside. Number 27 is right behind you. Clear.
Oh, wow. Great job by Terry keeping it off the wall in turns 1 and 2. That car did not grip at all. Trying to brake it and just shoved straight up the track. Very high banked
Number 41.
racetrack with sharp corners. Rockingham turns 1 and 2, maybe a little sharper than 3 and 4, though it's a tighter angle into turn 3 because of a straight backstretch versus the curved tri-oval on the front stretch. And again, just over a 1 mile in length racetrack, but they still hit speeds of high 160s, nearly 170 miles an hour going off into turn 3, as we've seen throughout the course of today's race. Fresh tires, they easily hit over 170 miles an hour. 175 before Labonte tried to break into turn 1. 13 likes right now. Thanks for everybody hitting that like button. In the second to last race of this NASCAR Thunder 2004 final season. Ooh, contact with Ashton Lewis. Now with Kyle Petty, and in the wall goes Labonte and Petty. Oh, up in the air. Hard hit for Kyle Petty. Steve Park involved. Heavy damage on the race leader, Terry Labonte. As they stacked up, Labonte falls back to about 4th. Terry got really tight trying to lap Kyle Petty off turn number 2. And they all stacked up behind him. And Petty caught air after getting rear-ended by Steve Park. Park goes in the air as well. I think both of their days have come to an end. At least Petty's definitely came to an end. Hard hit. Petty almost flew over the front of the 5. Debris was flying everywhere down the backstretch as well. And we have yet another caution in today's race. Labonte cause of the caution. So he's only going to repair damage. No fuel or tires, and pit stops will be coming soon. Our second caution of the night and a very violent crash. First 5 races originally scheduled is Daytona Road. Oh, now is, yeah. So it was originally scheduled for 28th. So Homestead would have been the, okay, so Homestead would have been the second race of the year.
Nobody else decided to come in.
I see now. So Homestead would have been the second race. They flip-flopped Homestead, being they were going to the Daytona Road Course. Staying at the same track. I get it now. Okay, that makes sense. Green flag back in the air. We might be seeing some debris cautions. Oh, man, another checkup into turn 1. On the restart. Yeah, Steve Park's still running. Kyle Petty's definitely done, and we've got pit stops going on. This might, depending on how fast of a pit stop it might be for Terry Labonte, cycle everybody back in. And Sadler just about stopped right in front of him, causing Labonte to ricochet both off of Sadler and Casey Mears. So a lot of the drivers have come into the pits so far. Labonte barely makes the pass on the outside of Elliott Sadler. He clears him off turn 4. So green flag pit stops are going on. Again, not sure exactly why everybody did not pit under the caution. The only reason we didn't take fuel or tires is because we caused the caution. So I didn't want the unfair advantage there, especially with everybody staying out. Ooh! Bonnie into the back of green. About 0.8 of a gallon of fuel left for Terry Labonte. More drivers coming into the pit lane. Labonte sliding the tires into turn 1, these old tires, to get around Ricky Rudd for 5th. Again, a large part of the field is already pitted. Terry Labonte's going to go one more lap, just in case we get a caution. Surprised nobody got cautions for debris, especially Steve Park being involved in that accident. Labonte came to pit road and repaired whatever damage he had, and timed it beautifully coming to the pits. Almost sped still, but he didn't. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel, no adjustments here for Terry Labonte. First green flag pit stop of the day. Second pit stop total. Problems with the right, or I should say on the left rear, but with the rear tire changer, and that has been an ongoing problem all season for Labonte as well. Took him out of a shot to win a couple races earlier in the season. A lot of bad luck in the second half of the year for Labonte and the pit crew has definitely been one of those worst problems and worsening problems. Look at where Labonte came out of the pit lane, 30th. I don't believe every car's hit pit road yet, but everything cycles through, though. Labonte's pit crew costed him. That was a 22-second pit stop. They repaired most of the damage under the caution prior to that, so I'm not sure why it was that slow outside of the left rear tire just not getting put on properly initially, and the rear tire changer making another mistake. Problems for Kenny Wallace. He has blown an engine just after green flag pit stop, so his day will come to an end. And at least Labonte is still going to be on the lead lap, and actually everybody has cycled through, so after the cycling and pit stops, Terry Labonte is 18 seconds off the lead. Last car on the lead lap in 29th. It's like we've had two drivers blow an engine here for the last couple laps. Somebody before Wallace as well. It's like that driver might have gone to the garage. Or it was a lap car that still had to pit that he cycled ahead of because that driver's no longer on pit road. So we're going to take a few race breaks throughout the course of this race. Means there are 2 races left on the season with this game. If you pause it, you can look at the race running order as they run. You can't do that on 05, unfortunately. So we'll take advantage of it here, see where these championship contenders are currently running on the racetrack as we are cycling through the pits. Steve Park is actually the race leader right now, so I guess he did come to pit road under that last caution repair, whatever damage he did, so he's probably going to stay out for a while yet. So he's shown as the race leader. Tony Stewart second, Mark Martin third. Martin comes into this race second in points, 54 points behind Dale Jr. Dale Jarrett comes in third in the point standings. He only led 6 laps at the beginning of the day. Martin's also led laps, so both those drivers with 5 bonus points. Ricky Craven, great run in 5th right now. Ryan Newman 6th, Kurt Busch 7th, Matt Kenseth 8th, Sterling Marlin 9th, and Jimmy Johnson rounds out the top 10. Not sure where Dale Jr. is at. Dale Jr. is 18th right now. He is not having a great day at all. And again, 54 points ahead of Mark Martin coming into this race today. And then also Jeff Gordon, who is 4th in points coming in, is outscoring Dale Jr. as well. So that could be a very tight battle. Again, 1 through 4th in the standings, 124 points between them. That could be a lot tighter exiting this race with Jr. running 18th, at least early on. No bonus points for Jr. or Gordon as well. And Bobby Labonte, the long shot, who is 171 points back going into today's race, 5th in points, is running 15th. Still ahead of Jr., but he's going to have to pick up the pace if he's going to want a shot going into the last race of the season. So that was the race break presented by insert sponsor here because we need sponsors for the... Well, we don't need sponsors. I would like sponsors. Anybody willing to sponsor? Out of pocket. We can start doing race breaks more often. Well, I guess we can't because the next NASCAR playthrough with NASCAR 05 at least is... We're not going to be able to do that, so I guess maybe for the championship race on NASCAR Thunder 04 we can do it. Maybe on the next NASCAR game they'll have an option where you could check live leaderboard or something like that. It'd be pretty cool. I hope they do something like that. I'd prefer it if it was like NASCAR 08 and 09 from what I've seen. And again, I never had those games either growing up, but 08 and 09... I guess they got a live leaderboard at the top of the screen that scrolls across. That'd be awesome if they could have that in next year's NASCAR game as well. That would help me out a ton with the realistic live streams. That would give us a lot more stories to talk about throughout the course of the race, other than just the driver we have and the accidents that have happened, because that's pretty much all we can do now. Indycar at the Daytona Road Course. Ethan, I've seen you, there's been a couple other people in the chat over the last couple weeks that have mentioned the Indycars at Daytona Road Courses. You know, imagine it and what it would be like and stuff. And, yeah, I keep shooting down the idea because, I don't know. They are lighter weight, so I don't know if they would need that chicane on the front stretch, but then again, IndyCars do go with how light they are and how powerful of engines they have still. Maybe going even faster than the Cup cars into turn 1, so they might need that chicane, but that chicane's going to take away the passing opportunities for the IndyCars because of them being open wheel. And that's the problem with the Charlotte Roval, I feel like, too. People are pushing for them to run on the Charlotte Roval. I just don't see that course working out well for IndyCar with the chicanes the way they are, because they're tight for stock cars. You know, I can't imagine what it'd be for open wheel. Love the idea of it. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. They'd be going way too fast. I don't feel like they would do it anyway. Like mentioned, they have to add that chicane on the front stretch like they have for the Cup races. Well, the NASCAR races in general. For the same reason NASCAR's got them, but that would just be way too tight for IndyCar to make any moves through there. Nice car's a little on the tight side. Keeps pushing up the track since exiting pit road. He didn't make an adjustment under either of the first 2 pit stops in which tires and fuel were either changed or taken. Leaving him in 29th right now. Got up to the front of the field, led a few laps just to fade right back. And it looks like we have some lap cars that are coming to pit road as well. So this might end up cycling Labonte up a couple more spots as well, unless he was already ahead of him. Yeah, Keegan's race. I should probably go back to saying KRC until we get a sponsor. Well, I can say presented by and then on. Yeah, I was saying on KRC there for a little bit, and then I've kind of forgotten to mention it over the last couple streams. So I'll definitely get back to doing that. Thanks for reminding me there, Patrick. Oh, geez, I looked at the chat for 1 second, and Mike Skinner just checked up right in the middle of the corner, and Labonte got in the back of it. Squeezed Stanton Barrett in the wall because of it as well. I believe Steve Park is still the race leader again. He's going to be leading for a while until somebody else can either run him down or he'll have to pit eventually. Still shy of halfway. One of the longer, or at least feels like one of the longer 400-mile races on the season, as many laps are being ran still. The laps do count down pretty quick here. Again, Labonte's fastest lap so far today is a 23.396. Very, very fast 1 mile racetrack. Yeah, between a starting grid and like a live race feed or race ticker, that would be perfect. That would help me out with this channel so much as well with these realistic broadcasts. That would only enhance the action. So both in the channel's aid as well as having the fun with it as well. For you guys, the fans, either watching or playing yourselves. It'd be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Wide into 1 or 2. Casey Mears was in the middle. He got out of there pretty quickly. Lonnie was unable to pass either one of the 49 or the 41. He was underneath. Sends it into 3 and 4. To get around Kenny Schrader. Clears him off turn 4 for the 28th spot. Casey Mears trying to block to the bottom. Labonte sends it into 1 and 2. Slides the tires. Clears them. Ooh, little contact with Greg Biffle. He's trying to make passes again on the racetrack. Biffle almost bounced off the wall off turn 4 and about ricocheted right back into Casey. Ricky Rudd not having a good day in that 21 car either. A Rookie of the Year leader, Jamie McMurray, outside the top 20. I think he's still hovering right around that 25th to 30th spot in points, so he hasn't had a great season, but still looks like he's got a good shot to win the Rookie of the Year coming into tonight. He might actually be able to clinch it tonight. We'll have to try to remember to take a look. McMurray got squeezed off of turn 2. He actually hit the wall before ricocheting into Labonte, but Labonte was getting tight himself there and made contact with him anyway. Didn't help again. Mears, or sorry, not Mears, but the 42 McMurray hit the wall anyway. Jonathan Rogers, welcome to the stream. Well, Indycar uses V6, but remember, I shouldn't say powerful as far as like horsepower goes, but their RPMs are cranking a lot more than the NASCAR Cup cars, and it's mainly due to how lightweight those cars are versus stock cars. That's why they go as fast as they do. So Steve Park likely pitting from the lead right now. And Labonte's getting closer and closer to Michael Waltrip. Maybe Labonte could get payback on Waltrip this time. Leaving a lot of bottom open. Terry could not get back to the gas in time there to stay underneath Waltrip. Looked like he was going to have a chance to, and didn't do it. It's going to be dangerous just to get alongside Waltrip. You know he's going to take a swing. Bonnie might be able to outbreak him into turn 1. And Waltrip tries to take him out going into turn 1. And Waltrip side. Labonte slides the tires and he just can't stay with him. Waltrip is absolutely bullying Terry Labonte right now, and that has brought Ricky Rudd back into the picture again. 3 times Waltrip took a swing at Labonte. He took a swing at him earlier under the caution too. Well, look at the run. Waltrip got really tight and checked up off of turn 2. And because of him checking up as much as he did, Labonte and Ricky Rudd ran right into each other. Labonte again trying to make a move. And again, Waltrip just took out Labonte. Hard crash. Waltrip is around and trying to get back to the gas. I spammed through the caution so we can't see the replay, and Waltrip just wiped out Terry Labonte into turns 1 and 2. I mean, he hit him probably 4 times throughout the course of that battle, and then he gets the last lap on top of it. Everybody else is pitting for tires. I'm pitting for tires. I know we were the cause of the caution, but Michael Waltrip turned us. Relentless effort there by Waltrip, just turning Terry Labonte, and look at the damage on the back of this 5 car. Waltrip took a big hit in there from somebody from behind. Again, I was trying to get back to the gas because we had to race back to the caution flag, and when I did that, I must have stopped it for some reason. And I spammed right through the replay. So I was pressing X. Yeah, that's a lot of damage to repair on Labonte's car. Waltrip just absolutely dumped Labonte, and he tried to do it for a couple laps and failed. Labonte was just trying to get around him at that point. Green flag back in the air, and sure enough, Waltrip lines up right behind Labonte. Terry's going to try to get away from him as soon as he can. Lap 150 on the restart after a 3rd caution of the day. And now McMurray tries to take a swing. And he must have been involved in the accident. Because I'm not sure why McMurray's mad all of a sudden, other than he must have been involved when Waltrip turned Terry Labonte in the first place. Pretty much everybody on the lead lap came to pit road under that caution. Labonte slides underneath of McMurray. McMurray crowds him. Damage is just not helping out Labonte at all right now.
42 car is on the lock.
I think Austin Dillon's slowly proving himself. It seems like later in his career is a huge checkup into 1 and 2. We got another caution for debris. Caution for debris. And Mcmurray just drilled Terry Labonte. They'll race back to the caution flag. There's a checkup. Labonte ran into the back of Mcmurray again. Mcmurray tried to dump Labonte another time. And tough to tell who the debris was on. It might have been Jeff Green in the 1. And it was. So our 4th caution of the day. It's at lap 153. Jeff Green will shed debris from his race car. And Labonte's going to pit to try and repair that damage on the caution because McMurray gave him a little more a couple times there. Starting to turn into a caution-filled race here right around the halfway mark. Well, I guess we could pit for fuel and tires. We didn't cause that caution. It was debris off of Steve Park's car. It's only going to be a couple lap fresher tires anyway, so it's not going to matter. Joseph Then, welcome to the stream, by the way. Looks like there's a hole in the radiator on Labonte's front bumper. He's taking a couple hard hits today, especially when Waltrip turned him there. That was very unfortunate. I mean, he T-boned that outside wall pretty good and did take a hit from behind as well, which caused the damage to the back bumper that you see. That deck lid's got to be raised at least like 6 inches above the rest of the back bumper. Green flag back in the air. Terry Labonte's lined up behind Waltrip and McMurray. Caution's out again for debris. As soon as the green flag waved, the caution waved immediately after as the hood of Casey Mears' 41 car has come off, and you can still see Jeff Green out there with damage to his radiator, so Mears must have been involved in that caution as well. Aiden Zelonka, welcome to the stream. Sorry if I messed your last name up on that one. And thanks for tuning in. Our 5th caution for debris. Back-to-back debris cautions now after the caution for which Waltrip turned Terry Labonte going into turn 1. And if Waltrip didn't already have a target on his back for Labonte, he definitely does after that accident. There's the current points as we run. Junior still has the lead, but only by 41 now over Mark Martin. Green flag back in the air again. I think a couple drivers are able to race their way back to the lead lap before the caution wave. And turns 1 and 2. Gonna have to watch out. We might get another debris caution. Boy, Waltrip's got to run to the outside of McMurray. Just got shot out of a cannon off turn 2. And how much speed has Labonte lost in the accident after Waltrip turned him? That's a cool last name, by the way. And Waltrip just put Labonte in the wall again, and now we get another caution. Oh, trouble on the backstretch. Jamie McMurray has wrecked. McMurray has wrecked another caution on the restart after Waltrip just shoved Labonte in the wall. What happened to McMurray? McMurray very barely hit the wall. I mean, it didn't take much. But he hit the wall off turn 2 slightly, and that was enough to knock him out of the race as he was up in smoke. Pulled to the inside of the track out of harm's way. And another caution. And more damage going to be repaired off of Labonte's car. Caution after caution in the midpoint of this race, and a lot of it's the AI. Well, all of it's the AI. Waltrip dumped Labonte. We had 2 debris cautions, and then McMurray wrecks off turn 2. Simultaneously, as McMurray wrecked, Terry Labonte gets put in the wall again by Michael Waltrip, forcing him to come to pit road under the caution repair damage. 12 people watching right now, 15 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe as well. We are very close to 800 subscribers on the channel. Maybe we can get there by the end of next week. I think it's very well possible. Seems like we get, like, on average, about 1 to 2 subscribers a day. So it's possible we can get there by the end of next week. It's 779 right now. Well, more tires on the car, but we've only had maybe about 5 green flag laps, and McMurray is on the racetrack. Jamie McMurray is not done. He was up in heavy smoke there, but it looks like they've gotten his car repaired under the caution. Let's see if he lost a lap under yellow or not. No, he's still on the lead lap. Great job by McMurray's crew getting that car repaired and get put back together. There's another checkup on the restart. What a save by Labonte off turn 2. And now McMurray is trying to take out Labonte. For whatever reason, other than he was involved in an accident that Waltrip started earlier. Look at this! Labonte trying to get away from McMurray on the front stretch. My goodness. Oh, man! McMurray has just ran Labonte all the way down to the infield. My goodness. Labonte cannot get away from McMurray and Waltrip. 2 straightaways in a row. McMurray just ran Labonte all the way down the track. When we thought McMurray was out of the race for being in heavy black smoke after crashing off turn 2, looked like his engine might have failed, and his crew got him back out there just to get back at Labonte. Now McMurray again is battling for the Rookie of the Year, and he leads those standings coming into today, so he is racing for quite a bit as far as the legacy for his young career in this 2003 season. My favorite driver is the guy on the flag behind me, Ryan Blaney. He is my favorite driver currently, Cup Series. Oh, contact off turn 2. Brett Bodine just sandwiched one of the other lap cars he was battling with. Wow, Labonte slides into 3 and 4. Getting around Jerry Nadeau. Trying to perhaps catch Michael Waltrip as well and maybe get his payback on Waltrip after Waltrip dumped him once and put him in the wall another time. Now Waltrip just door-checked Labonte in the middle of 1 and 2. And Labonte has absolutely had it with Michael Waltrip here today. Labonte trying to get a run to the outside of Waltrip. He's trying to do something to get alongside of him and turn him. And Waltrip just again put Labonte in the wall. And now McMurray puts him in the wall. McMurray took a shot right after Waltrip did. Heavy damage on Terry Labonte's car. This is unbelievable. What does Labonte have to do? I mean, I'm surprised he's still in this race, and that did not DNF him. Both hits into the wall, getting sandwiched by first the 15 of Waltrip and then the 42 of McMurray. Right when you thought McMurray was out of the race, he's back in it, and he's already tried to take out Labonte a few times. And it was only because he got involved in an accident in which Waltrip had turned Labonte earlier, causing Waltrip to get more mad at Labonte. Another hit to the right side of Labonte's race car. Again, he's going to have to be very careful with the right side of that car. Even though it's really none of his own doing. Didn't I use him when... yeah, with the NASCAR Heat 5 playthrough, I used Ryan Blaney. And we got a caution. Debris on the racetrack. It might be off Terry Labonte's car. If so, he's going to come down to repair the damage once again. Yep, the right front fender fell off of Labonte's car. Bringing out now our 6th caution of the race. At least Labonte gets to come down to pit road, repair the damage, but boy, is he ever going to get around Waltrip or McMurray? Or is this day going to come to an end trying to get around him? Because even when he gets around the one like he did McMurray there and finally got away from him a couple laps after the restart, trying to make sure that McMurray wasn't chasing him down, which he chased him down the track a couple times. So another pit stop for Terry Labonte. And this has prolonged this middle part of the race quite a bit. Again, 6 cautions today, 5 in about the last, well, since lap 100, just after lap 100 when we got the second caution. Front tire changer making a little bit of a mistake there as well, but nobody else on pit road. Yeah, I can't believe McMurray's still in this race to begin with. I mean, we saw he was up in smoke pretty heavily after getting in the wall, bringing out a caution earlier today, and I thought his day came to an end, and they held him on the lead lap. And that's just the will to not let your driver exit this race. Body spun the tires off the start. Trying to change gears right in the middle of the corner. I'll jump into the gas. Coming low, expecting maybe a checkup from the cars in front of him. It was definitely a checkup. At least nobody, as far as battling for the championship, has been involved in the tomfoolery we've seen at the rear of the field with Waltrip, McMurray, and Labonte. 3 wide into 1 and 2. Harvick made a little contact with the 0-1 of Jerry Nadeau. Oh, Harvick bounced off the wall, stays in the gas, and still stays to the outside of Labonte. What a run by Harvick. And Labonte goes way down low and slides up in front of him. And Harvick's just not had a good day today. He's been outside the top 20 all day long. Had an inconsistent season himself. Casey Mears with the heavy damage, missing the hood right now. He just got passed by Terry Labonte. Tomorrow's stream is going to be the Busch Series at Las Vegas on NASCAR 05. So that'll be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So an hour later than the start of this stream. 3 wide. Bodine squeezed in the middle at the last second between Sadler and Labonte. Mark Martin, one of the championship contenders, has been put back in traffic due to all these cautions coming out, not being able to gain any time as well because of it. Dale Jarrett losing time on the restart as well. He's outside the top 10, nearly outside the top 20. Labonte underneath Waltrip. Couldn't hold it there. Bobby Labonte was on the outside. Terry was trying to keep it off his brother, who is battling for the points as well. Oh, contact with Bobby Labonte up the racetrack. Goes Bobby Labonte. They were 3 wide down the front stretch. Bobby's coming to pit road. Perhaps some short pitting going on by a lot of these drivers at the front of the field. We just saw a couple guys come to pit road a few laps prior. Getting really close to about 200 laps to go in this race, so very close to the halfway mark. Labonte trying to catch Waltrip, maybe get a little payback on Mikey. Well, not maybe, he's definitely looking for some payback. And Waltrip goes around. Oh, man, and T-boned by Mark Martin, and Waltrip's out of the race. Labonte has knocked Waltrip out of the race by crashing him in turns 1 and 2. Mark Martin did pile into the right side of Labonte's car, and 1 down, 1 to go for Terry Labonte trying to get his payback on these two guys that have just held him in the middle of the pack as Labonte knocks Waltrip out finally after Waltrip has put Labonte through a rough day. That was after Labonte didn't even try to get payback on him earlier. He just let him go, and poor Mark Martin in the wrong place at the wrong time being involved in that accident. Ooh. Looks like Bodine hit Labonte on the right side. There was a lot of debris that shedded off Labonte's car again. So he'll come to pit road another time. I think we can all agree in the chat, for those of you that have watched this race, that Michael Waltrip had that coming. He had it coming going into the race, and I played it smart. You know, we charged to the lead. I was playing it smart. I didn't want any part of it after all. He turned us once. He put us in the wall a few other times. Nope, we weren't letting him get away with that. We probably weren't going to be able to pass him cleanly anyway without him taking another shot. A lot of the field coming to pit road under this caution. This is our 7th caution of the race. My goodness. And we're only about halfway. Out of curiosity for you guys, the most cautions we've ever had in a race on the channel is 16 at Talladega on NASCAR Heat 5. So, are we on pace for that? I don't even think we're on pace for it yet, but we very well could be with all these cautions going on right now. Slow pit stop for Labonte, repairing more damage on pit road, but that car is still running. Nonetheless, very durable race car for Labonte today with all the carnage he's been involved in. Yeah, so there was a handful of drivers that definitely stayed out. Some of them might have been lap cars. We'll see. Green flag back in the air, once again at the Rock. Unfortunately, I think Mark Martin's now a rival of Terry Labonte after he got involved in that accident. Mark battling for a championship. Great restart there by Labonte, getting around Ward Burton. Ward got his first career win at Rockingham back in 1995. Ooh, Waltrip. Or sorry, not Waltrip. Mark Martin got checked up by the cars in front of him. It looked like Nemechek tried to pull a block on him. Martin's not mad enough to take a swing at Labonte, so he's got that going for him. Man, Labonte's loose. Contact! Very loose was Labonte, and he slid right back up into the 22 of Ward Burton. About got hooked off the front bumper of his car. Oh, Bobby Labonte just put his brother in the wall! That's unbelievable! Bobby Labonte just put his brother Terry in the wall off of turn 2. They had accidental contact running 3 wide earlier. What has this race turned into? Bobby, another one of the championship contenders. Heavy damage on the right side of Labonte's car. There might have been a stack up off turn 4. Big pack of cars from mid-pack on back. Labonte might be shedding some debris here sometime soon after his brother, of all people, put him in the wall. I can't believe that. Battling for a championship. Terry's definitely going to let him go, but I guess Bobby wasn't too keen of Terry making that accidental contact with him earlier. But again, a lot of it hasn't been Terry's fault here today. Heavy damage on both the right front and the left front now on Labonte's car after that contact with Elliott Sadler. My goodness. We still got 199 laps to go. Oh, wow, Fittipaldi got loose into turn 1. Allows Labonte to pass both Fittipaldi and Sadler cleanly, though. Labonte's trying to be very careful. Really doesn't want to make any contact with the right side. Well, really, the front of his car. Again, the left front and the right front very damaged. And the right side of his car very heavily damaged after getting in the wall. Again, contact up in front of him. Between Ryan Newman and Bobby Labonte, they made contact in the one. Labonte was immediately, Terry that is, checking up. Seen everything in this race. We've got manufacturers turning on each other. We've got blood relation and families turning on each other. The havoc of end of season racing. Bonnie's really trying to check up. He really doesn't want to pass Bobby right now, knowing how mad Bobby Labonte is. Oh my goodness, Hermie Sadler trying to come to pit road, and he about ended Terry Labonte's race. Terry was under him, and Hermie tried to pit regardless, and he hit the right side of Terry Labonte's car really hard. Waiting for debris to fall off of Terry Labonte's car to bring out another caution, quite honestly, at this point. Another loose moment getting into turns 3 and 4.
We're about 10 seconds off the leader. Hit your marks and be smooth.
After all this carnage, too, it's amazing Terry Labonte not only is in this race, but is still on the lead lap. How insane has this thing gotten? It might very well be a wreckfest the rest of the way. It's been a wreckfest for about the last 50 laps. It's kind of slowly smoothing itself out. Keep getting these cautions and these wild restarts. Now what these championship contenders want to see, of course, Mark Martin again being involved in that last caution, but he is alright. At least he didn't have heavy damage. And he's still running, but he is outside the top 20, unfortunately, for himself. Came in 54 points behind Dale Jr. Second in points coming into the race. Again, there were some drivers that stayed out under the last caution. That's why you're seeing a lot of drivers pit currently. It's getting jam-packed. They're 2x2. Down the backstretch into turn 3 again. Terry Labonte is rooting his brother Bobby on to try and get through this field of cars. We know Harvick's not mad enough to take a swing at Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte, on the other hand, is. He already put Terry in the wall. Stanton Barrett coming off of pit road. He was already a couple laps down. Well, Bobby Labonte's going to make a move underneath Mike Skinner at least. Got to be a good opportunity for Terry Labonte to get around Bobby. And it's probably going to be getting into turn 1, but he has to clear him. Kevin LePage coming out of the pits. Everybody else able to stay high. A lot of these guys pitting right now should be able to make it on one more stop. Well, no, probably. See, again, the pit window is different from NASCAR 05 because in NASCAR 05 we were able to go about 90 laps on fuel. We've not been able to really see how far exactly we can go on fuel with all these cautions we've had today, but it's looked right around 70 to 75 laps, so I don't think we can go quite as far in this game on fuel as what we could in NASCAR 05 at the same racetrack. in the same series.
We're about 10 seconds off the leader. Engine marks, be smooth.
Terry kind of driving similar to how he was at the very, very beginning of the race before he had a feel for his car with the lack of practice in qualifying, just trying to feel things out. Be very patient because he doesn't want to get alongside another rival, and if he does get alongside a car, he does have to go for it. He's got to make the pass there because he doesn't want to risk making even accidental contact with anybody else the rest of this race. Oni, you have missed a ton over the last 100 laps. This race is turned on its side for the moment. $16 likes right now, so again, thanks for everybody hitting that like button, tuning in here on a Thursday night. Bonnie really shook up the racetrack. KFB, yeah. Bonnie to the inside of Jeff Gordon off turn 4. Harvick's not mad enough to take a swing. That could be helpful for Labonte. Oh boy, Labonte locked the tires up. Fittipaldi got really loose on the outside as well. And what a pass. We mentioned Labonte had to go for it. Jeff Gordon's actually a lap down right now. Harvick drives it in hard into 1 and 2. Labonte kind of lets him go initially. Labonte pitting under those last cautions. We know he can go a while on fuel yet. There's Bobby on the outside. Terry has to get away from him quickly. Sends it underneath Kevin Harvick into 1 and 2. This isn't going to work. Terry letting his brother go. He is all the way down on the racetrack trying to stay away from him. That was his opportunity to get around Bobby Labonte, and he couldn't do it. Harvick held him up in turns 1 and 2. And Terry had to drop in line behind him and let his brother go. Because that probably wasn't going to end well. I don't know if Labonte could take another hit to the right side of his car. And now Terry's trying to get around another lap car of Greg Biffle currently. And Bobby was able to get right back around Kevin Harvick off turn 2 himself.
Number 16, up high. The 29 car is going for the block. The 16 car is looking right. Clear.
No! Another hit to the wall. Jeff Burton just ran right in the back of Terry Labonte after Labonte got in the wall, and Terry's trying to keep it off the wall again. They were 3 wide off the exit of the corner. No spots lost for Terry Labonte, but a couple lap cars got back around him. And again, keeps the car running after another hit to the right side.
Number 99, up high. Still there. Keep deep.
Back around Greg Biffle and Jeff Burton off turn 4. Well, whoever the race leader is right now has absolutely gotten away.
Number 24 is outside. The 24.
A little lock up on the brakes there for Labonte to get around his teammate Gordon. Oh, Gordon in the wall off turn 2. He pushed a little tight and a little wide in line behind Labonte. Taking the air off the front of his race car. Lap 221 of 393 at the Rock. Here tonight, it has been a wild race. 7 cautions total. Another position gain for Labonte getting around Steve Park. Bobby Labonte's stuck on the outside right now. Fittipaldi's underneath him. Well, this might be a chance for Labonte to make a pass. 3 wide to the inside of 4. Underneath Ryan Newman and Bobby Labonte. This is the chance for Terry, but he gets way too loose on entry into turns 1 and 2. Oh, Bobby in the wall and into Newman off turn 2. So those two make contact. That was a chance for Terry to get underneath, get the run. He's trying to stay low and stay away. Oh, another hit into the right side of his race car from Bobby Labonte. But Labonte, Terry that is, has finally gotten around his brother. As his brother is out to get him, and now Terry's trying to pull away from Bobby. And Bobby's driving hard to get back to him, but Terry pulls him off turn 4. How is Terry Labonte still running in this race? I mean, that is insane how much durability this race car's got. From Waltrip to Mcmurray to his brother Bobby Labonte now. Wide underneath Newman and Fittipaldi. Those guys down for position. Both a lap down. Both have short pitted. Ooh, Newman in the wall off turn 2. Jamie McMurray is the next driver ahead of Terry Labonte. And again, Terry's going to have to make sure McMurray doesn't take another swing. Wow, Terry... Keep getting the Labontes mixed up. Terry Labonte really skidded getting into turns 1 and 2. And debris. Caution. 8th caution of the race. They'll race back to the line. Well, it's Terry Labonte's debris, but that might actually help him. He'll come down to pit road. He'll repair damage. We keep this show going. So Labonte coming to pit road under the caution.
One car now hits pit road, begins the long journey down to the end of the pit road. The crew guys are up on the wall, are trying to find out if this is a scheduled stop or if there is a problem with the car. The one car will be making a pit stop at this end of pit road.
Cautious for debris there for Terry Labonte, so he's not going to replace tires nor put any fuel in the car, but they definitely have to repair the damage, especially to the right side. The left front had heavy damage as well, but back on the racetrack will go Terry Labonte. Now halfway on fuel through this run. Still a 2 pit stop race to the end for Terry. And nobody else came to pit road. We have 20 cars on the lead lap. And we'll set up another restart. Green flag back in the air at Rockingham. Most of the field double filed with about half the field a lap down. Maybe Labonte can get his payback on McMurray now that the damage is mostly repaired. Well, so much for that. Now it's heavy damage on the right side of the car again for Terry Labonte as he ran right into Stanton Barrett after a stack up getting into turn 1 on the restart. Labonte's just trying to drive on. Locking the brakes up into turn 1. This inside line's really going on the restart. Oh, Terry Labonte! Into Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi got in the wall after the contact. More damage to the right side of Terry Labonte's race car. Narrowly escaping to the inside was Brett Bodine in the 11. He did get a little bit of contact, but not as much. Look at how hard. Oh, man, way too hard. No! Bodine's upset now, and contact, and Hermie Sadler about goes around. After he got pinched in the wall by Brett Bodine, they were 3 wide. We got heavy damage again on Terry Labonte's race car. 3 wide into 1. Sprague into the side of Labonte. Labonte shooting the gap. He's just trying to get around these guys as quickly as he can. He's got to be smart, though. He's made it this far in the race miraculously. He's got Jamie McMurray right in front of him with a heavily damaged both right front and just complete right side of his car once again. Despite repairing it under the caution, then quickly the stack up on the restart. Caused a little bit more damage to the same spot that he just repaired. The left front's not looking as bad as what it was, at least. Oh, I forgot Martin's upset enough to take a swing as well. McMurray's blocking. Oh boy, Jamie got loose. Labonte trying to stay away from Mark Martin. Can he get around him? No, and oh, caution, debris. They'll race back to the caution flag. More debris off Terry Labonte's number 5. 9th caution of the race today at Rockingham. Sure enough, with 2 races left of this playthrough, that we have something. Something of a race like this. Of course, making the race drag on more and more. It's the same piece of the right front that keeps falling off on Labonte's car. They get a new piece on, it falls off. They get a new piece on, it falls off. And not really anything he can do about it. And back onto pit road again to repair damage. Visibly, the car's still shaken up. For obvious reasons that you guys have seen throughout the course of this one. 21 drivers on the lead lap. Labonte the last of those on the lead lap. And he's going to anticipate another checkup on the restart into turn 1, so he's going to try to play it smart this time, and the damage again is repaired for now. Lap 240. So he checks up into turn 1. Didn't look like the field checked up that time. It's alright. Terry played it safe and smart. So they did check up into 3 and 4 on the outside. The outside lane checked up big time. And Bodine trying to take out Terry Labonte. 3 wide into turn 1. Labonte gets around Marlin. He's on the inside of Steve Park. Trying to get away from Stanton Barrett and driver right behind him slides up in front of Park. Oh my goodness. The right side's not heavily damaged again for the moment, so he's going to try to get around McMurray and Martin as soon as he can. Huge drifting action, causing the left front now to get a little worn again. On the Bonnie's car, Fittipaldi trying to make a pass, and he's blocking. And a checkup again by the outside lane going into turns 3 and 4, which causes Labonte again to have major damage on the right front. Just keeps repeatedly getting damaged at this point. This inside is really, really rolling on this restart, though. And it has allowed Terry Labonte to gain a pretty substantial amount of ground. More damage to the right front. Contact with Biffle. Oh, man. Ricky Rudd checking up that time. Lonnie does have to get payback on Mcmurray yet. Just throwing that out there. Left side of his car is not damaged at all, really, so he can get to the outside of Mcmurray. Might be a chance at the contact. Oh, boy, Labonte in the wall. Oh, and he tried to put himself in a hole. What a save. In front of a line of cars. So he tried to put himself back in line on the inside, but Hermie Sadler was already there. Kept it from coming back across the... Well, he did come back across the track, but everybody checked up behind him. We stay green somehow here at the Rock. Labonte looking for payback on Jamie Mcmurray. Mcmurray tried dumping him on a handful of occasions in this race. Remember, he got payback on Waltrip and knocked Waltrip out earlier. Labonte to the inside. Oh, he took a swing at Mcmurray that time, but he missed.
4.5 seconds between you and the leader. Save your tires.
Locking the brakes up too much into turn one. Labonte again loses ground. He can't take a hit to the right front, but he can turn Mcmurray if he gets to his outside. Which is what he's planning on doing right now. Or he's going to try to outbrake him, and he does into turns 1 and 2, and he's just going to clear Mcmurray. He's not even going to worry about the payback right now. He's just going to pass Jamie and try to stay away from him and drive away from him. Green flag pit stops are coming up fairly soon. So Labonte will get around Mcmurray cleanly instead.
Keep digging. You need to pick up about 4 seconds on the leader.
So Labonte taking care of his race car. Not as much as he can, at least. Oh, boy. I got sandwiched 3 wide in the middle. Sliding the tires again. These tires are really old. Green flag pit stops will be coming soon. Don't forget, Mark Martin's upset enough to take a swing at Terry Labonte. To the inside. Oh, and Martin just ended Labonte's race into turn 1.
Flag is out. Any problem? In turn number 1. Then brought out the yellow
All the longevity Terry Labonte had, and he gets wiped out going into turn 1 by a guy who really never took a shot at him all race. And that was Mark Martin, one of the championship contenders.
Lots of different leaders means one thing. Lots of very strong race cars.
Jerry Labonte definitely got a little banged up, and it shows what an effect that can have on your finish.
That might have ruined Labonte's chances at getting a top 10 in the point standings this year.
Too far. It's the guys who have only 1 or 2 cars that suffer the most. But hey, it'll make you learn to take care of your car in a hurry.
Jerry Labonte has someone new to look out for on race day.
Should be interesting next time they get next to each other on the racetrack. At this point, nobody wants to back down, and we could see some sparks fly.
This has been NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, brought to you by EA Sports and MRN. We'll see you next week at Homestead.
That race just wasn't fair. That whole race was just unfair. I mean, from the start, Michael Waltrip was trying to wreck us the whole race. He did wreck us. He turned us the one time. And when he turned us, Jamie Mcmurray got caught up in that accident. And that's why Mcmurray was so mad at us, because McMurray got involved, and that's why he was taking swings at us and wiped us out a couple times, as you guys had seen throughout most of the race. And we got our payback on Waltrip right around the halfway mark before lap 200. We got our payback, knocked him out of the race, and then I decided I wasn't going to get payback on McMurray. I drove right by him cleanly, and we were just going to run the rest of the race and try to make it to the finish. And we get underneath Mark Martin, who was at minus 60, so he was just mad enough to take a swing at us. And sure enough, he did, and ended Terry Labonte's day. The only reason I'm not upset that these DNFs keep piling it on, and we were getting banged up the whole race from the other drivers. I mean, there was nothing I did wrong the whole race, really. It just, I mean, we were just sandwiched between a lot of guys that were mad at us over the course of the race for being involved in that wreck. And Waltrip, of course, was mad at us before that. We already were looking for payback on him, but, I decided not to get payback on him, and then he turned us and kept putting us in the wall a couple times after that, and I was like, okay, well, now we have to get payback on him. And we did. And that was it. I was done, but we were just getting bullied by Mcmurray still, and then Mark Martin right at the end. Even Stanton Barrett took a shot at us on that restart, too. Ryan Newman will win his second race of the year at Rockingham. Bobby Labonte finishes. Oh, yeah, that was another thing. Labonte put us in the wall earlier, too, for whatever reason. We had contact with him when we were 3 wide at one point. It was just really narrow into turn 1. Newman did lead 130 laps. I believe that's a max points day for him. He's not in the running for the championship, I don't believe, but he does get a max points day towards the end of the season. And again, his second win of the year. He was our season 1 champ, and he did not win a race last season, but he wins 2 here. 30 lead changes, 11 cautions for 35 caution laps today. Really slowed the race pace down. Looked like they ended up going 3 hours and 19 minutes total time in this 400-mile race. And tough way to end it. But we got one more race left with this full race live stream playthrough for NASCAR Thunder 04. I'm shooting for Saturday, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I want to run it, especially with Homestead being this week. Maybe we can run it on Sunday. I mean, that's possible too. I don't know what my plans are. We're scheduling it for Saturday night right now, but it might end up coming on Sunday instead. We'll go through the finishing results. Jeff Burton finished 3rd. Kevin Harvick 4th. Good comeback run there. Jeff Gordon 5th. Remember, Gordon came in 4th in points. He still got a shot at the title going into Homestead. Elliott Sadler finishes 6th. Jerry Nadeau 7th. Casey Mears 8th. Greg Biffle 9th. And Dale Jarrett rounds out the top 10. Jarrett still has a shot at points. He came in 3rd. Finishes in the top 10. Dale Jr., the points leader, did lead some laps, getting 5 bonus points, finishing outside the top 10 in 11th. Kurt Busch 12th. Mark Martin 13th after, of course, you guys saw wrecking our driver, Terry Labonte, out of the race. We got one more race with Texas Terry. We'll try to get him his final career win on the way out, assuming he doesn't win in NASCAR 05. Because, again, he did not get a win following the 2003 season the rest of his career. So we'll try to get him one more career win. That's pretty much all for the points contenders. Like we had 31 drivers finish on the lead lap. All those cautions late allowed for a lot of drivers to get back on the lead lap. And the DNFs today, we had 5 drivers that failed to finish. Kyle Petty, Kenny Walls, Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip, and Terry Labonte all failed to finish. And credit to McMurray's crew for getting him back on the track, but he should have DNF'd earlier. Remember, he was up in smoke, black smoke, after hitting the wall off turn 2. It looked like his day was done. His crew got him out there and kept him on the lead lap enough to where he was right around us, still beating on that right front fender that eventually ended up causing us to DNF. Just over 100 laps left. Tough way to end the race indeed, but at least we weren't in the running for the championship anyway, but it sucks we've DNF'd 3 of the last 4 races at the end of the year again. What a rough... I mean, again, we only had, 3 or 4 DNFs in the first half of the season? Like the first 18 races? And we hit the halfway mark, and we've gotten... We probably have, double-digit DNFs just in the second half of the season alone. It's insane. What a spiral out of control the end of the year has gone for Terry Labonte and this team. We'll take a look at those point standings before you guys get out of here. Again, just one race left. And I believe Dale Jr. still has the points lead. But it has become closer. He might have gained a little bit on Mark Martin by beating him by 2 positions. Both having 5 bonus points. So I think he gained on Martin, so he'll have a little bit bigger of a points lead than 54 like he came into the day. But Jeff Gordon outscored him by quite a bit. Dale Jarrett outscored him by 1 spot, so it should be a 4-man race. Bobby Labonte, he finished 2nd, so he might have a shot mathematically as well. So Junior has a 64-point lead over Mark Martin, gains 10 points on him today. Jeff Gordon, 98 points back in 3rd. He's got a shot at the title. Dale Jarrett now back to 4th, losing 1 spot in the standings despite finishing 10th. He's 120 back. He's got a shot at the title. Bobby Labonte with that 2nd place run, he still has a shot at the title. He actually won this 2003 race at Homestead Miami Speedway. So Bobby Labonte has a shot to repeat history, maybe going for the win. He's got a shot at the title. He's 136 back. And Jeff Burton is the first driver out of contention, 6th in points, 209 back. So 5 drivers into the final race of the season. We're used to now having the championship 4 with the current playoff format. This is a season-long championship. No playoff format here. We have 5 drivers that can win the championship going into the final race of the season. That is going to be fun to watch at Homestead this weekend, assuming we get that race in this weekend and not next week. Terry Labonte falls back to 11th in the standings, and he's 102 points back from Ward Burton. He mathematically has a shot to finish 9th, which is where we finished Season 1 in the championship standings. So mathematically, it's possible to finish ahead of Newman. Newman, of course, getting that win. And Labonte DNFing, that allowed Newman to jump a couple spots in points to get up to 9th, and Ward Burton's 10th right now. So, how much money we've won this year? Again, we have won 10 races, if I remember correctly. 10 wins on the year with Terry Labonte. 4 less than what we had Season 1. We're running similar in points to where we were. So, more consistent in those races we haven't crashed out of for sure. And we'll take a look at the Rookie of the Year standings. Jamie McMurray still leads. And I believe he might have clinched it. Christian Fittipaldi, 35th. Yeah, I believe McMurray has already clinched it. Let me make sure there's no rookies ahead of him still. Yeah. So it looks like Jamie McMurray has just clinched the Rookie of the Year. I don't even think I have to get my calculator out, but I'm still going to. I believe he has clinched it. 3109 minus, where's Fittipaldi? 2841. Yeah, 268 back. So after today's race at Rockingham, Jamie McMurray not only is able to avoid a DNF and clinch the Rookie of the Year standings, but was able to beat up Terry Labonte for no reason as well along the way, after a wreck that Michael Waltrip caused. And there's a rundown. The later guys on the points here, the part-time drivers. Chase Montgomery's dead last, 45th. But of the drivers running full-time, Jack Sprague is actually in last by almost 100 points behind Kevin LePage. 18 different winners on the season, by the way. I did notice that before the start of the year. So, yep, Rookie of the Year, Jamie McMurray. The Rookie of the Year leader. Oh, yep, there it is. Rookie of the Year. I forgot you can go to this screen. I haven't gone to it all season, but yeah, Jamie McMurray has already clinched the Rookie of the Year mathematically. A lot of rookies this season, 10 of them, but only 5 of them are running full time. That actually had a shot at it. They had 16 pole awards this season. So we got that going for us. we won something. We won the most poles. We've won the most races too. Chevy leading the Manufacturers Championship. The lap champion. Is this laps led? No, that can't be. That can't be laps led. There's no way we led that many laps in a season. I think it's counting all the laps we've ran this year instead of how many we've led. Because there's no way. There's no way. There's like barely... Yeah, there's no way we led that many laps. All right. That's enough of the stat watches. So on to Homestead this weekend. Thanks for everybody tuning in today. As you guys saw, we were getting beat up all throughout the race with our driver, Terry Labonte, and Labonte could not make it to the end of the race because of it, and unfortunately Mark Martin was the driver that DNF'd him. So Martin's got a shot at the title. He might not when Terry Labonte's done with him. But, so tempers will flare into the final race of the season, that is for sure. Thanks for everybody watching. Lap champion is laps led. Yeah, I figured it was laps led, but there's no way we've led that many laps this season. I think the game's kind of like spazzing out on us. I think it's counting every lap we've ran this year instead of, like, for us versus what everybody else has led. I mean, there's races we dominated, but we really only dominated, like, maybe 3 or 4 of those 10 wins we had. We've crashed out of a lot, as you guys have seen. What the heck? Got Hulu showing up on my screen for some reason. Thanks for everybody watching here today as I'm trying to get back to my screen. At least you guys aren't seeing that with the game capture card. All right, that's enough rambling. You guys have heard enough. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow on NASCAR 05 Busch Series action at Las Vegas. And at least we know we're running for a championship there on that game with all 4 series if you count the modifieds as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in once again. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, not 7. So at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for the Busch Series at Vegas.